Tisha, this past Sunday, you were featured on TV1's Uncensored series where you were raw, honest, and real.
Martin called me the day after I separated I felt, completely exposed.
Have you ever noticed how one interview, one comment, or even one social media post can suddenly bring years of old drama back into the spotlight? That's exactly what seems to happen every time the names Tisha Campbell and Duane Martin start trending together. Years after their marriage ended, people are still talking, still debating, and still trying to figure out what really happened behind the scenes of one of Hollywood's most talked about relationships.
We're winging it, just like everybody.
Jokes, lots of jokes.
Laughing at one another.
And lately, the conversation has exploded all over again. Fans have been revisiting old interviews, old headlines, and old stories from their marriage. Social media users are digging through the past, connecting dots, and sharing opinions. Some people believe there's more to the story than the public knows. Others think it's simply another example of the internet refusing to let a celebrity relationship stay in the past. But here's the thing. Nobody truly knows everything that happened between two people except the two people who lived it. Still, that hasn't stopped the rumors from spreading.
Light liquor, because then Duane won't see how much you're drinking during the night. He thinks it's water.
Really?
And what nobody expected was that years after their divorce, the public would still be so invested in every new development connected to their names. To understand why this story continues to capture attention, we have to go back to the beginning. For a long time, Tisha Campbell and Duane Martin looked like one of those couples who had figured out how to survive Hollywood. In an industry where relationships often come and go, they appeared to have built something lasting. They shared a life together. They built a family together. They supported each other's careers. From the outside looking in, many people believed they represented stability in a world known for chaos. But as fans have learned time and time again, appearances don't always tell the full story.
Mostly when I talked about me being raped, it was for people who would pay attention to their children.
Over the years, there were reports of financial struggles, legal challenges, and personal difficulties. Like many couples, they faced obstacles that the public couldn't fully see, yet they continued moving forward. That is why so many people were shocked when news of their separation became public. Suddenly, the image that fans had believed in for years began to crack. Questions started appearing everywhere. What happened? Why did things fall apart? Could the relationship have been saved? The public wanted answers. Unfortunately, answers are rarely simple when emotions, family, and years of history are involved.
In the table read, when I turned to him and I said, I got hit with the Novocaine. And he goes, right? I would get a high off.
As the divorce process moved forward, headlines continued appearing. Every statement became news. Every court filing generated discussion. Every public appearance sparked fresh speculation. And that is when the story took on a life of its own. People began choosing sides. Some sympathized with Tisha. Others defended Duane, and many simply watched from a distance, fascinated by the unraveling of a relationship they once admired. But here's the twist. Years later, the divorce itself is no longer the biggest topic. The biggest topic has become the endless conversation surrounding it.
And he kept saying, oh, I'm officially out of the fan club.
Every time either person gives an interview, fans immediately search for hidden meanings. Every time an old clip resurfaces online, thousands of comments appear within hours. It's almost as if the public is still searching for a final chapter that may never come. Recently, that conversation reached another level. Across social media, people began revisiting old statements and discussions connected to their relationship. Some users claimed certain comments revealed deeper tensions. Others argued that people were reading too much into ordinary observations. The internet did what it always does. It turned speculation into a spectacle. One post became 10 posts. 10 posts became 100 videos. And before long, everyone seemed to have an opinion. What makes situations like this so fascinating is that rumors often grow faster than facts. A small comment can become a major headline. A simple observation can become a viral theory. And once that happens, controlling the narrative becomes nearly impossible. For celebrities, that reality can be exhausting. Imagine trying to move forward with your life while strangers constantly analyze your past. Imagine building a new chapter while millions of people keep reopening the previous one. That pressure can be overwhelming. And that's what many fans forget. Behind the headlines are real people. Behind the viral clips are real emotions. Behind the trending topics are families who must continue living their lives long after the cameras stop rolling. As discussions continued spreading online, many supporters of Tisha praised her resilience. They pointed to her career, her determination, and her ability to keep moving forward despite difficult moments. Others focused on her openness regarding personal growth and self-discovery. To them, her story became one of rebuilding, a story about finding strength after heartbreak, a story about learning who you are after a major life change. Meanwhile, supporters of Duane argued that public narratives are rarely balanced. They believed people often rush to judgment without knowing the complete picture. They pointed out that relationships are complicated and that assigning blame is rarely as simple as social media makes it seem. That difference in perspective created even more debate, and the debate continues today. Every few months, the conversation seems to return. A new interview, a new podcast discussion, a new viral post. Something always reignites public interest. But perhaps the most surprising part of all this is how many people see pieces of their own lives in the story. Most viewers have experienced disappointment. Many have experienced heartbreak. Some have gone through painful breakups or divorces. That's why celebrity stories resonate so deeply. They're not just about celebrities. They're about human experiences, love, trust, growth, loss, recovery. Those themes connect with everyone. And maybe that's why people remain so invested, not because they're searching for gossip, but because they're searching for understanding. They want to know how someone rebuilds after a major life change. They want to know how a person finds happiness again. They want to know whether healing is truly possible. The answer, based on what both individuals have shown publicly over the years, appears to be yes. Healing is possible. Growth is possible. Moving forward is possible, even when the journey is difficult. As this story continues generating discussion, one thing remains clear. The public may never know every detail. There may never be a dramatic final revelation that answers every question. And honestly, there doesn't need to be. Sometimes the most important part of a story isn't what went wrong, it's what happens afterward. It's about rebuilding confidence, reclaiming happiness, discovering strength you didn't know you had, and creating a future that isn't defined by the past. Whether people support Tisha, support Duane, or simply observe from the sidelines, one lesson stands out above everything else. Life keeps moving. Relationships change. People grow. And sometimes the most powerful comeback isn't proving someone wrong, it's proving to yourself that you can move forward. As fans continue debating old headlines and revisiting old stories, perhaps the real question isn't what happened years ago. Perhaps the real question is what happens next. Because in Hollywood, as we've seen time and time again, the next chapter is often the one nobody sees coming.